evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mike Nesmith, and on my left is the delightful and charming personality, David Jones.
Thank you, Mike.
No sweat.
And on my left is the charming and delightful Peter Tork.
Thank you, David. And on my charming and delightful is the left moderator, Nikki Dolans.
Thank you, my charming panel.
Here we come, walk down the street. We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Hey, hey, we're the Monkees, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down. We're just trying to be friendly. I'll come and watch you sing and play. We're the young generation, and we got something to say.
Was it a TV show? Was it a rock and roll group? I don't have any idea. I don't know. It was neither, and it was a little of both.
It was a TV recording, touring, merchandising project.
We became 4 musicians and 4 actors. Instead of 2 and 2, we became actors and musicians. And it crossed over, and it complemented each other.
It's like Leonard Nimoy really becoming a Vulcan. And that's what happened. And we became this band. And that's the amazing story, I think, behind the Monkees.
Hey, hey, mercy, woman, plays a song and no one listens. I need help, I'm falling again. Play the drum a little bit louder, tell me I can live without her if I only listen to the band. Listen to the band. They made me happy. I think I can make it alone. Oh, mercy, plays a song and no one listens. I need help, I'm falling again. Play the drum a little bit louder, tell me I can live without her if I just listen to the band. Listen to the band.
I got a call from Bert Schneider and Bob Ravelson. Basically, they said, look, we want to do a show that's sort of an American kind of Beatles.
The thought was that a show that incorporated pop music and this, what it then was this radical new style of filmmaking, would be innovative.
We just try to make them were there 4 Monkees? Yeah. 4 footloose, you know, improvisational, zany guys.
Here we go, walking down the street. We had the funniest looks from everyone we meet.
Would this have been a hit had they been called, you know, the Aardvarks? Probably.
I said, that's the most stupid name I've ever heard. That's your first mistake. The other mistake is not getting guys who are like in a band already.
Basically, they decided what they would do was have open auditions. So they put the Madness thing, you know, Madness actors wanting to take part in the TV show, Ben Frank types. And as we all know, Ben Frank's is a restaurant on Sunset. And it's a late night place. You can go there and get your eggs and bacon, you know, after you've been out on the razzle or whatever. And So Ben Frank types were long-haired, sort of beatnik weirdos from the 60s.
Oh, the auditions, yeah, were very extensive. I mean, they were weeks and weeks, I seem to remember, of singing and moving and acting and improvisation and playing an instrument. I played guitar at the time.
The four we chose were the ones that we all liked the best.
My name is David Jones.
My name is David Jones.
My name is David Jones.
Will the real David Jones please stand up?
I am standing up.
I was born in Manchester, England, an industrial town. I was raised in Manchester till the time I was 14 years old, and then I moved to Newmarket to become an apprentice jockey, riding racehorses. It didn't work out because the agents took me up to London one weekend and I auditioned for the part of the Artful Dodger, and I got the role.
David was appearing on Broadway in Oliver.
What are we going to do if it gets about? What are we going to do if your dad finds out we're in love? Well, what did your sister say when she saw us kiss? What have I got to pay so she won't talk about this? So what are we going to do if your dad finds out we're in love? They've been saying wait until we're ready.
Well, Screen Gems got hold of me, and they decided that they wanted to find a vehicle for me. I came to California with Ward Sylvester.
We were going to establish a solo career for him.
I've offered you my Lovin' Spoonful collection, my Bobby Dylan records, my Blind Lemon Jefferson records, and this prize of my collection, Bobby Darin Sings His Bank Book.
Throw in the stones.
Okay.
Let me see that. Davy Jones sings.
And then the monkey thing started to develop, and I was just perfect for that, you know. That was sort of like rock and roll, so they finally find a vehicle.
When they were going through all the screen tests that they had, they started calling me the guy with the wool hat. I said, yeah, well, bring wool hat back. Let's see wool hat again.
This is H.L. Nesmith. He owns a small spread in southern Texas. What's the name of the ranch again, Mr. Nesmith?
Houston.
I was born and raised in Texas, ordinary growing up. Stayed there until I was 20, and then I moved to Los Angeles.
Here he is, Michael Blessing. Let's hear it from Michael Blessing.
I chose the name Blessing out of the telephone book, and I didn't find anything in the A's that I liked.
I'm not a dream, I'm not an angel, I'm just a man. You're not a queen, you're just a woman. Hold my hand. We'll make a space in the lives we both had planned. And here we'll stay until it's time for you to go.
I used to cut class and take a chair and go and sit in the middle of the stage and look out at this empty house and just play like it was full of people screaming. And I kept thinking to myself, someday.
So I was sitting in the office auditioning, waiting for the Monkees audition, and Mike came in and said, "Hello, Pete."
Ladies and gentlemen, the dove, the bird of peace. I have placed the bird in the bag. I'm going to make the bird disappear. I blow up the bag.
Well, I believe my parents when they tell me that I was born in Washington, D.C., February 13th, 1942. Yeah, I flunked out of college for the second time. And my father said, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, I think I'll go to New York to seek my fame and fortune. I didn't find it there. There wasn't any there. I came to L.A. in 1965. And then I played piano for Steve Stills and Ron Long, who were called the Buffalo Fish. Steve was my buddy from the village. We had known each other We were the kids who looked alike. Steve called and said, Peter, I've just met this guy who is doing a TV show based on A Hard Day's Night, and you should come up and try out. I went, yeah.
I'd been up for like 3 or 4 shows that month.
I don't like it, painted red. Take a memo. Going into production for my new film, The First 10 Days of Pompeii. Have the ad read. You've read the book. Now see the movie. M.D. Somebody write a book called The First 10 Days of Pompeii.
Well, I was born here in Los Angeles and grew up in a show business family. And then the first series I had was Circus Boy when I was 10. I rode an elephant around for 3 or 4 years.
Life isn't just one big circus, Corky.
Maybe it'd be better if it was.
I understand that there was a cattle call, kind of a call went out, you know, in the trades. But of course I'd already had a series, so I had a private audition. One didn't go to cattle calls, you know, when one already had one's series. The first interview was very unusual. I walked into this office and there was pizza cartons everywhere and Coke cans and these 2 guys sitting around in jeans and T-shirts, and I thought they were like the guys that brought in the pizza, and they were the producers. And so that was a big difference, you know, for someone like myself who'd been to a lot of auditions in Hollywood and television companies. It was usually some big guy in a suit and a cigar going, "Yeah, kid, well, tell me a little about your background." I even remember at the time I thought, I really want this one. This is kind of cool.
Oh, everybody seemed perfectly swell.
Mike struck me as an incredibly witty, very, very funny humorist.
And Mark Nesmith walked in there, and he had a bag of laundry over his shoulder. He had his pants tucked into his boots, which came up just, you know, to about his knee, you know, and he had his wool hat on, you know. It was the middle of summer. I thought, this guy's just come out of the mountains. What's going on here? So he came in, and he walked into this, says, "Well, I don't have much time," he said. "How long is this going to take?" And I thought, my God, we got a rare one here.
Peter was my entree into the world of Bohemia.
Peter was in another world, the waterbeds, brown rice, Hare Krishna. It was scary.
Davy Jones walked through like he owned the place. But I've grown to love him now. I do. I actually do love him.
This was finding 3 brothers I never had.
And this is Mike Nesmith, Mickey Dolenz,
And Peter Tom.
And Davy Jones.
And Mickey Dolenz, reminding you to save the Texas prairie chicken.
Here we come, walking down the street. We get the funniest looks from everyone we meet.
So all of a sudden, I was put with these other 3 boys. I didn't want to analyze them. I just wanted to do the job. I was playing the part of a rock and roll singer in a TV series.
He's in love. Yeah, for the very first time today.
Tell me, Mr. Jones, what do you look for in a girl?
Well, it all depends what I've lost.
Davy can be the short one. Oh, I got that part, did I?
You are too short. You are too short and you have no ear for music.
Ah, who's this bearded weirdo?
With malice towards none and charity for all.
Very nice indeed, but he doesn't have the looks.
Well, how about if we shave him?
No, it wouldn't help,
That's it. That's perfect. That little wave of hair and the little green hat sitting casually cocked on his head.
Mike was kind of a Will Rogers kind of a character.
A jug of bread, a loaf of wine, and thou beside me in the wilderness.
Oh, Peter, you've quoted the most beautiful poetry I've ever heard.
Does that mean we can go out together tonight?
No.
Why not?
Let's face it, man, you're a sissy.
Well, this fella was just me, the hero, the dummy.
No, Peter.
No, Peter. Yes, Peter.
Peter had actually had the toughest acting job, because the character that Peter plays on the show is nothing like really he is in real life.
Well, I want to tell you about over here, camera. I want to tell you about my family now. Now, take my wife. Please take my wife. Oh, my wife. She talked so much, I sent her to Florida last week. She came back with a burnt tongue.
As a video comedic group, it was Mickey, who could go nuts and who could trip out and who could deliver the lines.
They also have insufferable tortures here on Earth. Whenever a pussycat cries, they tear off its head.
Definitely not.
Then they holler in its ear. And then they put the head back on the body. I don't know how it stays alive.
Mickey could be the funny one, because he's funny. He looks funny.
I'm not acting strange. I'm acting perfectly normal. There's nothing strange about me. Don't tear off that cat's head again. I can't stand it.
You ever heard of a drummer singing? You know what I mean? The drummer can't sing.
Mickey got the drummer's part because they asked for a volunteer, and Mike, Peter, and myself took one step back, you know, and there was, oh, I guess you're the drummer.
Mary, Mary, where are you going to?
And Larry Tucker and I are in the pilot. We opened the show. It's pretty funny, if I say so myself.
Turner, recently in our fair city, there have been many acts of violence committed right in the streets in full view of people like yourself.
Disgusting.
They have just stood by and watched people being brutally attacked.
Deplorable.
How do you feel about that, sir?
Disgusting. It's each man's solemn duty to protect his fellow citizens.
And if you saw a fight or a person being beaten taking place right here in
I would involve myself physically. I would come in fists and feet flying. I would give them... I tell you something right now.
Grab him! Grab him!
Some innocent bystander, please help me. How about you, sir?
It was done in the quick cut Richard Lester style, very in your face.
Standards and practices said you had to have parents there. So I think under duress, Bob and Bert had put in a manager. In your pilot, originally, we had this manager who ran a record store.
Wool hat, take the boys right over to the Riviera Country Club. You're going to audition for a Mr. Russell.
Hey, you're putting us on.
Nope.
Oh, really? That's just great. Thanks, Rudy.
And pilot tested very badly, I understand, when it first went out.
It really was a disaster. It may have been the lowest rated pilot they had ever tested. So Rafelson's listening to the focus groups, and they're getting the guys mixed up. They're saying Mickey when they mean Davy. Rafelson said, well, you know, the problem is they don't know who these guys are. I learned who they were from their screen test.
All right, let me ask you something. I mean, like, do you make a folk sound or a rock sound or anything like that?
I make a terrible sound.
Hey, let me see you do the song and dance you do.
Song and dance I do?
Cartwheel something. Do something quick.
A song and... You must be joking.
No, I'm not.
What do you want me to do?
Sing? I'll dance one of your little quick things. Hey, Davey, you want to know something? Honestly, hold it for a second.
What?
I really think you should have been a jockey. Mike, let me ask you something. Do you think you can play another part? A part of another guy?
What is that? What do you want me to be? Strong and silent?
Yeah, be strong and silent. Hey, well, now be a girl. Mike did the same thing.
Well, I mean, that's your hang-up, man. Not mine. I mean, I know where it's at.
Were you ever a strong and silent girl before?
Have you ever had that?
And Bob brought it back in and re-edited it and put in the interviews and took out the manager.
And the rating went off went through the roof.
That worked. It sold.
Once upon a time in the land of Kirshner.
My job basically was to pick the songs, get a song in each show, and I became the supervisor of the music, the albums, and I had creative control on the entire project.
He was the guy that put songs in TV shows and movies and da-da. You came to him. He had them, the Carole Kings and the Neil Diamonds and the Sadakas and the Nielsen's and Carol Bayer Sager, Barry Mann, Cynthia Weil, Lieber and Stoller, you know, Sears and Roebuck, you know, Neiman Marcus. He had them all under contract, you know.
The first song we did with Last Train to Clarksville which was really a departure, but I felt with the train sound that Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart wrote for me and the promotion we had, it would be #1.
Take the last train to Clarksville, I'll be waiting at the station. We'll have time for coffee, for later kisses, and a bit of conversation. No, no, no. No, no, no.
It was a very smart idea to combine the visual, a sitcom, with a group that could sell records. And, of course, the songs were a big part of it. And I think that having the Nevins-Kirshner music stable of writers was just a wonderful part of the Monkees' success.
I thought Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart had a great collection of material, all different kinds of songs. And I really think, you know, they were the best for the Monkees.
Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station. You can be here by 4:30, 'cause I laid your reservations. Don't be slow. No, no, no. No, no, no. And I don't know if I'm ever coming home. Take the last train to Clarksville. Take the last train to Clarksville. Take the last train to Clarksville.
Mickey Dolenz and I were sitting outside our house in Beverly Glen, and all of a sudden, Last Train to Clarksville came on. We just went, yeah, you know, almost jumped to the roof, you know, and it wasn't even a convertible. So we went, wow, it's incredible. Oh, God, this is it. We're hugging each other, you know. I think the song Last Train to Clarksville was #1 before the show hit the air. And then they proceeded to argue, you know, what was making it. The records making the TV making the records.
The idea was that the success of the record would drive viewership to the first episode.
Man, they're the most. Man, they're the Monkees. Take the wildest ride of your life with the world's zaniest string quartet. Swing with the Monkees at 7:30, 6:30 Central Time.
The Monkees was a television show about a group like the Beatles. We used to make fun of other groups and of the Beatles and throw darts at Beatle posters, like, because of the supposed jealousy.
There was about 4 guys that lived in a house in Malibu Beach, and they're 4 guys with no father figure, no authority, except occasionally Mr. Babbitt would come in and say, you know, your rent's due.
I am kicking you out!
Hey, what's the matter? We paid the rent the 1st of September.
Yeah, but that was for July.
And the show very nearly didn't get on television because it was so out there and so alternative. I mean, believe it or not, that, you know, long hair at that time was still synonymous with crimes against nature. So here come the Monkees, just fun-loving guys, and little kids go, look, Mommy, they have long hair and they don't do horrible, nasty things.
Wait! What?
What is it?
A brilliant idea.
Well?
That's what we need, a brilliant idea.
Well, where are we going to get that?
I've got it. Got to talk to the writers.
Hi, fellas. Listen, we need an idea for the show, you know. Gotta be something fast and groovy and hip and everything, you know. Can you do it?
The guys who wrote the stuff in the early days, they wrote a lot of very conventional kind of comedies. And then they turned us loose on them.
We had to go and spend a night in a haunted castle, or we had to spend a night working in a restaurant, or whatever it took to do it to pay the rent.
A toy factory needs unskilled help in an non-essential job requiring no training or no experience.
Hey, Peter.
I apply for a job, or the Peter Tork character, there is some difference here, applies for a job and is interviewed by a machine.
Your name, please.
What?
Thank you. Last name, Watt. And your first name, Mr. Watt.
It's not Watt.
Not Watt. Mr. Not Watt Watt.
First of all, you've got my name wrong.
Correction. Name misspelled. Please give correct letter.
Well,
Correct letter is I. Name is not Watt, but Nitwit. Brother is also a nitwit.
Now, just a minute.
That will do, nitwit. Test complete. Interview ended. Application rejected.
I like that whole You know, so I'm sort of like a romanticist, you know. I like the idea of that, you know, the swashbuckling one, you know, where I'm fencing on the table, you know, and doing all that. You know, I see myself as sort of like a pirate, Errol Flynn type.
Guys, listen, guys. We know who you are, so don't try to deny it. We also know where you live, or else how could we have sent this letter? We're coming to get you, so don't leave. This is a threatening letter and a warning. Unless you return the microfilm and get off the ranch, we'll kill you.
Don't worry about it, Peter. There's nothing in the world can go wrong.
Ah! All right, give me the microfilm.
Wait a minute, wait, guys, wait a minute. Wait, guys, you have to do the scare. The old monkey scare. The scare is very funny. Try the scare. You know, you go, that's it. Okay, one more time.
Well, Jim had an awful lot to do with what the Monkees were on television.
Jim encouraged us to loosen up, to improvise with each other, and he gave us the room to really trust our instincts. The whole show was set up in a way so that we could go crazy and run around. But it was disciplined enough so that we didn't lose sight of the story. The result was an innovative mixture of music and comedy that was totally new to television.
I think one of the successes of the show was the fact that the comedy was not topical and not satirical. And I think they worked at that pretty hard. They wanted to make it timeless. The Monkees was the Marx Brothers, basically, with music.
Monkey Men! Up and away!
One of the highlights of each episode was the rump, sort of a silent movie comedy cut to whatever song we were plugging that week. This is where we really had an opportunity to cut loose and show off our improvisational skills.
You're trying to make your mark in society. You're using all the tricks that you used on me. You're reading all them high-fashion magazines. The clothes you're wearing, girl, are causing public scenes. I said, I'm not just stepping stone. I'm not just stepping stone. Not just stepping stone. Not just stepping stone. When I first met you, girl, you didn't have no shoes. But now you're walking around like your front page news. You've been awful careful about the friends you choose. But you won't find my name in your book of who's who's. I said, I'm not just stepping stone. I'm not just stepping stone. Not just stepping stone. I'm not just stepping stone. 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 No, girl, I'm not just stepping stone. Not just stepping stone. Not just
Hey, you can fly.
Oh, Peter?
No, speeding bullet's much faster than that.
And then, our most recent hit.
I felt that if I could have Mickey Dolenz sing to every girl in America, I saw your face and I'm a believer, it would be a #1 smash.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales, and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't
What I remember about Mickey singing I'm a Believer was how his quality of his voice and the way he sings was different. He brings an acting ability.
When I needed sunshine, I got rain. Oh, then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Yes, I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. Said I'm a believer. Yeah, 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 yeah. Said I'm a believer. Yeah, I'm a believer.
Well, the TV show never got great ratings, which surprised me. It was the records that were really the big, big hit and got most of the notoriety.
What was making it work was the size of the machine, of the marketing.
K-double-L-O double good. Kellogg's best to you. Some guys have it. Some guys never will. Some guys have it. Some guys never will. Yardley, Black Label, Yardley. He's able.
It's the whole scene when you splash on Yardley Black Label, the new aftershave that's really out of sight. Be the guy who's got it all. Black Label, get it.
Cornflakes, okay, but men's cologne.
It was too intense. The days was filled with being a monkey.
Or anywhere, just look over the shoulder.
Go away, will you please? Where's the disc jockey?
It was inconvenient to go out.
In Hollywood, the winner is the Monkees.
To the Monkees, who really won the award. Thank you.
Hey, we're the Monkees, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing, put anybody down.
So it's hard to believe Davey seems to have time for everyone and time to do everything. He's just plain fantastic. But not as great as this guy.
Mike's the quiet monkey with the drawly, groovy voice. And you have to understand, if you get caught, it's not like you're a human being anymore. It's like you're a souvenir. And they don't care what part of you they're going to take home. They're going to take home some part of you. And it's not just clothing we're talking about either. We're talking about eyes and wisdom teeth and whatever they can rip off.
Peter stated it real well. Your life when you go out on the road turns into an endless tunnel of just limousines and airplanes and hotel rooms. And then all of a sudden there's one brief period of light, and that's when you walk out there on the stage.
Okay, good fellas. Come on, inside. Come on, get in the car, fellas. Come on, let's get going.
if you really found out that none of us could play a note and couldn't carry a tune in the bucket, would you hate us?
No.
No? Why is that?
Well, because you're putting people on pretty good if you don't.
That's great. We were backstage, and it's like 2 minutes before we're supposed to go on. And this guy walks up, he's got a reporter, you know, like that, and he goes, I'm standing with my guitar over my back. And he walks up and he says, is it true that you don't play your own instruments? I said, wait a minute, I'm fixing to walk out there in front of 15,000 people, man. If I don't play my own instruments, I'm in a lot of trouble.
When that whole Monkees is the prefab, don't play their own instruments controversy blew up, which was pretty big noise for a while, what we got from all of the young pop rock wannabe, would-be musicians was that the Monkees had no right to be where they were as far as their music went. The studio musicians made their music, they didn't write it, they didn't perform it, one of them saying, it doesn't count, it's not real, it's bogus.
It didn't matter if it was the Monkees or Elvis Presley or Frank Sinatra, everybody cut the same way those days. There was always studio musicians would go in and do the tracks, and the lead singer would come in.
Nobody played their own music. The Mamas and the Papas didn't play their own music, they had people playing it.
I was guilty because we were fake, I thought.
I actually think that people believed there actually was this, that like Laverne and Shirley, the Monkees actually all like lived in some house on Laurel Canyon or something and hung out together and like wrote songs together.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You like it? That's terrible. That's the worst thing.
Thanks very much, fellas.
We wanted to be the musicians in the studio. That's all we asked for. Kirshner, whose idea of control was everything in place, saw this as the barbarians at the gates of the Holy Roman Empire, and he wasn't having any of it.
And he also said, you know, you guys have got to sing and you got to play like we say to do it. Just get a grip, pal. This is not an enforceable covenant.
And the order came to Kirshner. The next single must have the lads themselves, the boys themselves, being the studio musicians on the B side. So Donnie put out a record where professional studio musicians had done both sides, released the record in Canada only. Fired him, bam, just like that.
They didn't like it, and so the easy way they thought they would get rid of me at the time was by firing me. Only time I ever got fired.
And we did manage at that point to wrest the control of the records and what was going to be released, what was going to be recorded and all that. We managed to totally control that from then on. And record sales plummeted. But we didn't care because we were doing what we wanted to do.
Burning from the rising heat, the fern a place to hide. The grass is always greener growing on the other side. And no time, no time, no time, no time for you. No time, no time. I got no time, baby, got lots of better things to do. No time, walk on George Ringo, one time.
You know, there was another organization that was set up to make their records, and suddenly we're being rebels here and having to do it all for ourselves and do something real, and so it was scary.
And we were determined to play every little stinking note on every little track.
It wasn't until headquarters came out that there was really a basis for the Monkees' music, and then it went on from there. And it did better and better, I thought.
Just a loudmouth Yankee, I went down to Mexico. I didn't have much time to spend, about a week or so. There I wish of a girl who loved me so. But I found myself thinking when the time had come to go, what am I doing hanging round? I should be on that train and gone. I should be riding on that train to San Antone. What am I doing hanging round?
Pleasant Valley Sunday is probably my favorite of all the Monkee tunes, on the whole. It just had everything going for it.
Pleasant Valley Sunday I first heard as a wonderful demo by Carole King, and I felt it needed an intro, so I kind of made this thing up that went with it, which I taught that to Mike Nesmith.
The local rock group down the street is trying hard to learn their song. Serenade the weekend squire just came out to mow his lawn. Another Pleasant Valley Sunday, charcoal burning everywhere, rows of houses that are all the same, and no one seems to care. Creature comfort goes, they only know my soul, make it hard for me to see. My thoughts all seem to stray to places far away. I need a change of scenery. Another Pleasant Valley Sunday, charcoal burning everywhere. Another Pleasant Valley Sunday, here in Status Symbol Another Pleasant Valley Sunday, another Pleasant Valley Sunday, another Pleasant Valley
For the benefit of the three people in the audience who don't know what it's all about, it's about the Monkees. 4 young men who flew into London to perform in this country for the first time. Mickey, Davy, Peter and Mike. Just arrived from Paris.
The people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down.
Scenes reminiscent of Beatlemania. Thousands of kids going crazy to get near them. Think they've all gone monkey nuts.
We've got something to say.
We asked them if they take drugs.
Not yet. Coffee. I drink coffee. That's about the worst drug that I take.
I took aspirin once. Destroyed my head, and it provided me with a lot of inspiration, too. I'm going to write a song in the next...
I have a real problem that I get high on one-a-day vitamins, you know, so anything else really wastes me.
I drink chlorine with a Drano back.
X-Lax does it to me.
Roundy Scousket was a song I wrote in England when I was there on tour, and it was quite simply about my experiences there.
She's a wonderful lady and she's mine, all mine, and there doesn't seem a way that she won't come and lose my mind. It's too easy humming songs to a girl in yellow dress. It's been a long time since the party and the room is in a mess. The 4 kings of EMI are sitting sitting stately on the floor. There are birds out on the sidewalk and a ballet at the door. He reminds me of a penguin with few and plaster hairs, talcum powder on the letter, and the birthday boy is there. Why don't you cut your hair? Why don't you live up there? Why don't you do what I do, see what I feel when I care?
Just free association, a song I was just kicking around. References to the woman that was going to become my first wife, Samantha. References to the Beatles.
You know, the Beatles liked them a lot. They're very warm. I mean, they were very warm guys, and still are, some of them.
And somebody set up for me to meet Paul McCartney, and that was going to be the big Monkey-Beatle meeting. You know, Monkey meets Beatle. And I brought an autograph book. I was just like, we just had a great chat, and I was thrilled.
Well, I was told that John Lennon said, the Monkees are nothing like the Beatles. They're more like the Marx Brothers. Which was right, we were.
They admired us very much for the ability to go into the studio and make television day in and day out.
And he walks on stage and he starts playing the guitar with his teeth. And I said, hey, that's the guy that plays guitar with his teeth. And just simultaneously, by coincidence, we needed an opening act for the tour.
He was opening in front of us, and of course, you know, he walked in to the beast. He walked into, there were the waving pink arms, you know, 20,000 pink waving arms like this. So every time he would say, Foxy, so everybody would go, David, Foxy, David. Oh man, it was some seriously twisted moments.
So he went, what's the point? He did about 8 concerts with us, and at Forest Hill Stadium, he just like took his guitar off, he got hold of the end of it, and he threw it at the audience.
We came back after this, after the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix and Life on the Road, being credible pop stars. Now we're on Gower and Sunset at 6 o'clock in the morning, sober, you know, trying to be funny, and our heads were in the clouds.
39. You got speed. Everybody's in position. Boys in position. Boys, you can be in position already.
Already in position.
Right, you're in position. Yes.
In position. Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
Oh, we're the monkey.
I hate these kids.
So they couldn't have controlled us if they wanted to. It was just, oh, hey, camera, hi, camera, oh, whoa.
If we started laughing sometimes, and we'd be laughing till 10 o'clock, they'd have to close the set down.
That's it. In 12 hours, he forgot how to talk. I mean, anybody can forget how to talk in 12 hours. Well, then it's simple. All we do is teach him to talk.
How?
What did you say?
How?
Because we were full of ourselves, no question about it. You know, who wouldn't be?
Hello. I'm Mike Nesmith, and I'm one of the Monkees. Tonight, as my guest on this wonderful television program, which has done so much for all of you young people out there, I have as my special guest none other than Frank Zappa.
Hi, kids. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
It's really a pleasure to be here.
It is? They have a lot of zany stuff on this program, don't you think?
It took the first year for us to get into the swing of what we were doing. That's why I wish that we'd done more shows, more years.
Play, Peter. Yes, Peter. I can make you famous.
If you're going to rip off from the best, right? It was Faust. Peter sold his soul to the devil to be able to play the harp.
Hey, wait a minute. We really can't stop him if he has a contract. Exactly. That is, if your contract's good. It's legal and valid. Well, I don't think so, and I'm willing to go to court to test it.
It was a great episode because it had some pretty good drama behind it.
I gave him the ability to play the harp in return for his soul.
You know, it was almost worth it.
No, you didn't give him the ability to play the harp.
Got to be some moment of seriousness or the comedy doesn't play, you know.
Okay, go play the harp.
Michael, I can't.
Look, the power's inside you. Nobody can give it to you. Nobody can take it away. Now go play the harp.
Okay, Mike.
Stuck in the mud in some filthy little town. Help! What a bunch of incompetents. Help!
Oh, God, Michael was so good in that. He was so good. It really was Michael's finest hour as an actor.
It's fun. Put on a blonde wig and say, "Help me!"
Oh, fair princess! I have loved you from afar, lo, these many moons. May I carry you across the mud?
What? You carry me across the mud? I'm a princess, a little peasant, a wayward serf, the lowest of the low.
So you've heard of me?
I will honor your spine with a walk across it. Down, peasant.
My spine thanks you.
Down.
There's a 50-cent toll at the other end.
Shut up, or I'll have you paid.
And to have him as himself over there going,
Wow, what a great-looking chick.
My lady.
Harold, you better get this carriage out of the mud.
Look at those sideburns on his body.
Cool.
I think he should have gotten an Emmy for it.
You're not the only cuddly toy that was ever enjoyed by any boy. You're not the only choo-choo train that was left out in the rain the day after Santa came. You're not the only cherry delight that was left in the night and gave up without a fight. You're not the only cuddly toy that was ever enjoyed by any boy. You're not the kind of girl to tell your mother the kind of company you keep. I never told you that to love no other. You must have dreamed it in your sleep. You're not the only cuddly toy that was ever enjoyed by any boy. You're not the only choo-choo train that was left out in the rain the day after Santa came. You're not the only cherry delight that was left in the night and gave up without a fight. You're not the only cuddly toy that was ever enjoyed by any boy. La 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 da da. La 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 da da.
And it gelled and it worked, and it worked for a long time. until Mickey wanted to direct, and Mike wanted to write all the music, and Peter wanted to play on all the records, you know. And I probably was a pain too.
So, Jim, it's the same on every show we do, man. The same.
It's terrible.
It's the same story, and they change it around.
We'll see you next week, kids.
Yeah, we'll think of something by then.
Yeah.
When everybody started to want to do everybody else's job, that's when it all sort of like went, you know, the sort of like the deckhands taking over the ship.
At some point, I asked Bob if I could direct an episode, and he said, yeah, sure.
Well, my favorite episode was The Frodo's Caper, a show that Mickey wrote and directed.
That's Peter. 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 Are you... Look. It looks like that TV has put him in some kind of trance.
Don't be silly. That's nothing but a test pattern.
Mike, are you sure it's a test pattern?
Wait a minute.
Mike, are you sure it's a... Mike!
Wow. What was that?
Man, I don't know. It was a test pattern. It was unbelievable.
You're telling me it was unbelievable, and you think that was something. You ought to see what happens after the commercial.
It was the last Monkees episode ever to be aired on the television.
Bob and Bert, I think, were fed up with the whole bloody thing and wanted to start making movies. Head. So we all piled up in Mike's limo and met Bob and Bert and Jack in Ojai up here in California at a golf resort. And we just sat there for 4 days rambling in tape recorders. And out of that came the movie Head.
When we set out to make Head, the movie, we decided that the last thing we wanted to do was to make a 90-minute Monkee episode. As it turned out, it seemed to show the 4 monkeys trying to escape our manufactured teeny bopper image. It was a surreal and somewhat experimental look at where we fit into the media landscape. A producer's way of saying goodbye, boys.
Come on, get up, lady. You're not dead. Hey, lady, come on, get up. Stop acting.
Hey, what is this?
Hey, come on. Stop playing. It's all over. It's an act. Come on, get up.
Well, stop kicking me.
Oh, I don't want to do this anymore, man. Oh, these fake arrows and this junk and the fake trees. Bob, I'm through. Come up, stinks, man.
Hey, well, Mickey, wait a minute.
You say we're manufactured. To that, we all agree. So make your choice and we'll rejoice in never being free.
Hey, hey, we are the Monkees. We've said it all before. The money's in, we're made of tin. We're here to give you more. The money's in.
I don't think Head's cynical. There was a darkness to the piece. A darkness to the piece that dealt with the death of a phenomenon. But Rafelson's that kind of a filmmaker. And so is Nicholson to a certain degree.
Don't listen to them, Peter. They're wise guys, punks. All they want to do is hurt people and abuse them.
How do you feel now?
Oh, come see, come stop.
All right, that's enough. Cut it. Print it, please. All right, that should be it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're on the other side.
Hey, Bob, that's
All
not right, man.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you know, about hitting a girl.
Over
Hey,
there.
is that all right, man? Does that look good?
I thought it looked great.
Yeah, but about hitting a woman and everything. Man, it's about the image and everything. It's not right.
Part of what Bob was about was not being very charitable to us.
Great. I'll have a go at him. You won't hurt my face, will you? $1 million head, this.
Why him, Davy?
Well, you know, I like him. He looks like a nice guy, and I like his smile. Go on, see if you can hit me. Just once. Just once.
Please don't leave me.
It wasn't the movie the Monkees should have made at the time. We should have made something like Ghostbusters, or a nice, fun monkey movie.
Yes, it looks like we've made it once again. Call the sound all around. Wing to its smile, seas for miles. And it looks like we've made it once again. Yes, it looks like we've made it once again.
The promotional campaign for the movie was so, well, it looks like it was calculated to sink the movie.
Ed was not advertised as a Monkees film.
This is not like advertising. It's like a face going, head, head.
So if they wanted to kill the Monkees, if they wanted to kill the movies, the phenomenon, the Monkees project, boy, they did a pretty good job.
I'm a fully automatic wind-up man, invented by the teeny popper.
33 1/3 revolutions per monkey was a network TV special we did in 1969.
Song about a wind-up man.
That was really the downslide. 33 1/3 revolutions per monkey was just didn't have any heart.
That's when Peter quit.
Well, bye, Pete. Later, Pete. Listen, don't forget to write, Pete, and remember, the door's always open to you, Pete. You can come home to the pad and all your friends, but write first, because we're renting your room.
And if in the end we should go both our separate ways, I know the lesson I've learned here is worth it all. 'Cause now I feel like such a fool for making you crawl back to me. But you did it with such love that you're standing far above me and all I did to you. I'm sorry now, what can I do?
And then all of a sudden it was sort of like, hey, hey, we're the Monkees. That was Mickey and I. It's like what they say about the Mafia. Sooner or later, we all come back.
Listen to the band! Play the drum a little bit louder. Tell me I can live without her if I only listen to the band. Listen to the band!
The Monkees phenomena is not nostalgic. There's a very current kind of electricity that goes on.
Very open, which is cool, but
well, what was because that the ninth was.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? The four of us together. You know, nobody's died in this band. It's all our own music, it's all our own words, it's all our own everything.
It's cool.
I'd like the Monkees remembered for exactly what it was. A television show about a group, and the members of that, the cast, shall I say, the cast of that television show actually did pull it off.
It's one of those things that just kind of happens every once in a while, and nobody really understands why. And I don't.
We did play, we did perform, we did make music, and we've made music recently. It's not like we weren't anything. We weren't nothing, we were something, we weren't nothing.
Even now, I hear the songs on the radio, and people say, hey, I heard Daydream Believer on the radio. Hey, I heard Believer was on the radio. I mean, there must have been some sort of something to it.
Oh, I could hide neath the wings of the bluebird as she sings. The 6 o'clock alarm would never ring, but it rings and I rise, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. My shaven razor's cold and it stings. Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? You once thought of me as a white knight on his steed. Now you know how happy I can be. Oh, and our good time starts and ends without dollar one to spend. But how much, baby, do we really need? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen?
We started to talk about shooting the pilot once they chose the 4 guys. So they said it would be a great idea if we all got in the same car and went on down to Del Mar or someplace wherever we went to film this Del Coronado, the Del Coronado Hotel. And that was fun. And we, on our way down there, decided that we had to stop to get some food. And you know, Mickey said, oh, there's a Denny's over there, you know, and there's a that over there, and there's a Howard Johnson's. And here's me looking at this sort of like places saying succulent seafood lobster, you know. This is not something that I'm always know, so like, I'm an English kid, you know, this is California, these guys are used to all this stuff. So we end up stopping at Denny's, you know, or one place like that, you know, with a sort of like paradise salad that looked like it'd been like 7 days on the counter. So we all get our meals, and I start, all of a sudden, I hear this chipping sound across the table, and it's Mickey Dolenz eating his food. And if you've ever had a chance to sit and eat with Mickey, you'll know that his table manners are not top on priority as far as, you know, he's like, he bashes into the food, and Peter's the same too. I can't speak about Mike. I suppose, you know, hey, what the heck. So he's banging away with his fork, banging this piece of plate, flying all over the place. Maybe I'm exaggerating. But the salad is going all over the place. And finally, I just put my knife and fork down. I said, you. Me? Mickey. I said, you. I've never seen anything like it. I said, you are a pig, all right? I said, you eat like a pig. Can't you just use, because I was a bit embarrassed, to tell you the truth. I said, can't you eat properly? He said, well, it is properly. I said, well, it ain't that, I'll tell you. 'Cause he was like banging at the plate. So this really like sort of laid a little bit of sort of, bad sort of like, oh, you could cut the air with a knife, So all of a sudden, I picked up my knife and fork, and they were looking at me, and I could see, and I started to cut the salad. Cutting the salad, and I took the Roquefort dressing, and I put it on there, and I tossed the salad and put it all together. And I could see they were looking at me, and I was watching them all out of the corner of my eye, saying, well, let's see how it's supposed to be done, And I'm going like this. Then I put my fork down, and I put my knife down, and I picked up the salad and went, and I put it under my arms and over my face. Well, after that, no holds barred. From that day on.
The Coliseum is like off to one side of the plaza. The hotel's off to the other side. The subway empties into the plaza. We're getting ready for the show. We're all dressed up and on our 4 alike suits. And me in the green hat. I mean, we are the Monkees. We get into the elevator, doop, 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 and just for contrariness, I push the closed door button before anybody else gets on. And we are now isolated from our security. Just the 4 of us alone in the elevator, which is kind of, oh, isn't this fun? Oh, we're naughty little boys. Isn't this going to be good? Of course, what we were about to do was descend into the jaws of our own fame. The elevator begins to go down. I realize, I don't know where we're going. And I look at the guy and say, you know where we're going? I said, I don't know where we're going. The elevator goes down like 3 floors and opens. And it's kind of a mezzanine foyer. I don't know, it's kind of empty, and I stick my head out. The other 3 guys stick their heads out. And we walk out of the elevator, and I stand there and say, well, this is not the limo, obviously not the limo. I figured we just go down, ha, 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 ha. We fool the security and go down and get into the car, go through the little wall of security that gets to the car. I look around, and it's nobody. I start to get back on the elevator, and the doors close. And we're now in this lobby, and I look down, and down the hall is about 14 girls, 14, 15 young women. And they look, and they see us, and the chase is on. And they come dashing down and just your natural instinct is just to run, which is what we did. We're running down the thing, down the stairs, and blast out of an exit door into the plaza, which is where all the people are coming for the concert. And and these girls, like a snowball, had picked up like another 30 or 40 people with them. So they all come out the door, and we're tearing across the plaza, further and further into the mouth of the beast. And these 30 girls, Monkees, Monkees, Davy, screaming after the back of us like this. We're running. I mean, and you have to understand, if you get caught, it's not like you're a human being anymore. It's like you're a souvenir. And they don't care what part of you they're going to take home. They're going to take home some part of you. And it's not just clothing we're talking about either. We're talking about eyes and wisdom teeth and whatever they can rip off. So you're dashing across this place, and these people are screaming, and everybody turns, and now it's like 1,000 people see us running across this thing, and they all begin to converge. And it's like, I don't know, I can't imagine what this thing must look like from 16 stories up, but all I see is a police car. And to me, it is an oasis, safe haven. And I said, the police car. And we, vroom, run over to the police car, and into the back seat, boom, shut the door, and these 2 cops sitting there having coffee and donuts, sitting there looking at each other, and they go, and they turn around and look through the cage back at us, and at that time, this sea of humanity sweeps over the police car. It's rocking from side to side. All the faces are pressed up against the window like this. And I said, we're the Monkees. Just drive out of here. Just drive out of here. And they took us to the Cincinnati police station, which then they called the arena, and then they took us in the back way to the arena. Yeah, sometimes it got right out of control. That was a good one. That was a good one, boy.
The hardest thing was my family, because they were bombarded by newspapers, you know, across the street from my house when I used to go to visit my father. The newspapers would rent a room at the house across the street so they could take pictures and wait there for me to come home, knowing full well I was in the country and I'd be eventually come. I mean, it's silly in a way, but, you know, that's, you know, it was news, and at the time they wanted to do that. I have a theory about, you know, I mean, I had to climb over the back fence to get to my house dressed in a woman's dress and a scarf and the whole thing, so that, you know, they'd knock the wall down in front of our little house in England, and they took the bricks, you know. There's some kid in England who's got one of the bricks from my wall, you know, that says this is from Davy Jones's wall. But it meant something to her, so that's why she kept it, and that's why she's got it.
The incident when Mike Nesmith put his fist through the wall at the Beverly Hills Hotel is very vivid and near and dear to my heart.
I don't remember the chain of events exactly, but at some point we ended up in the Beverly Hills Hotel in some bungalow with Donnie Kirshner and his lawyer.
I had flown out to the Beverly Hills Hotel to give the boys, in those days, it's a lot of money today, $250,000 apiece.
I don't know what it was for. It's for a lot of money, for royalties. And he says, well, this just shows you how good the records are, how good the music is. And, you know, if genius is the ability to see analogy, certainly madness is the ability to see analogy where none exists. And I thought to him, yeah, Donnie. You just got to connect the dots better, Don. This is not...
Well, I would have respected him if they didn't take the money.
In California, it's only plasterboard, so don't worry, he didn't hurt himself.
Mickey got him. Mickey and I we went to Monterey and saw Jimmy do what he did, and Mickey got it. I didn't get it. Because at Monterey, Jimmy followed the Who, and the Who bashed up their things, and then Jimmy came and burned his guitar. I said, oh, I just saw that. I was just done. Explosions and destructo. Who needs it? But Mickey got it. You know, it took me a little longer. I did get it eventually. I'm a little slow. I did get it eventually. And Mickey said, we got to get this guy. Because Mickey was just enthusiastic about his music. Mickey saw the genius and went for it. And we got the guy. I said, we got to get this guy. We got to get this guy. So we worked and got him. And that was all there was to it. Nobody thought, you know, here is the avatar, you know, the screaming, scary, the balls off of your daddy music compared with the Monkees, you know, and it wasn't going to play. No, it didn't cross anybody's mind that it wasn't going to fly. And so there's poor Jimmy. And the kids' hair is standing on end, and they go, we want the Monkees, we want the Monkees. So I heard that Jimmy flipped him off, but I don't know for a fact that he flipped them off and said, I'm not doing this anymore. I also heard that it was like mutually, well, I guess we'll skip it. But I don't know, being thrown off the Monkees tour is probably one of the better things that ever happened to Jimi Hendrix's career. It really, given the nature of what people were saying about the Monkees at the time, it probably, you know, did give him an extra boost. But it didn't matter. The wonderful thing about that, two wonderful things. One was that we went early to the shows and listened, you know, just to listen to what this man could do, because he really was... He was a world-class musician no matter what. You know, if he'd been playing Beethoven, people would have been falling on their faces about the way he played Beethoven. And the other thing was that he was such a sweet guy that it was really just a pleasure to have him around for company. Just, how you doing? Just that his air of just everything's all right. Things are cool. It's okay. Just made you relax just to be around him. So, you know. And it was always, you know, it was just There are people that you respected their talent, and you'd be happy to see them because they were so talented people, and you respected them and you admired them. But Jimmy was just an angel. One time in particular, we were on the road in Osaka, and after all the furor about the Monkees aren't a real band, and are we going to make our own records and stuff like that, we caught fire. We just, I remember the song we were doing. We were doing Sunny Girlfriend, Mike's song. And there was something about that song and something about that feel. We just hit the pocket. It was like wonderful. It was transportational, just the kind of thing that I got into music to do in the first place. And David, and we're playing to 18,000 screaming kids, and David banging a tambourine, and he comes waltzing over to me right in the middle of the thing, in the middle of this wonderful thing, and he yells at me over the noise of the, he says, "We're going to form a group!"